Be strong.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hope with Jonathan. Another episode here. We're going to be doing another interview with Mr. Kurt Hooks. We had some technical difficulties last night, some issues with either internet or what have you, but I was willing to do it again. So we'll do this interview tonight. I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna bring on Mr. Kurt Hooks from Albany, Georgia. Hey, Mr. Hooks, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Hanging in there, hanging in there. Uh, Sorry about all the technical difficulties we had last night. We wasn't able to complete our interview, so I wanted to bring you back on. Why don't you kind of recap everybody of who you are and where you're from?
My name is Kurt Hooks. I'm 55. I'm from Albany, Georgia, and I've been on dialysis for 6 months, and I'm doing peritoneal dialysis.
Yeah. And so you've been on dialysis now a few like 6 months,
Yep.
peritoneal dialysis, which you're doing that 7 days a week.
Yes, sir. 8.5
Yeah,
hours.
8.5 hours a night.
Yes.
That's a lot of it's a lot of time involved because you got a prep time too.
And that's another hour. So basically 9.5 hours total.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into that. Home dialysis is, you gotta follow a lot of guidelines and specifications. Stay sterile, stay clean. You gotta have a clean environment, and then you gotta have room for all the supplies, all the boxes, and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your family?
I've been married for almost 25 years. My wife, her name is Cheryl. I have a
Uh huh.
daughter. She's
Uh huh.
20, and she's attending FAMU. She'll be graduating next year with a degree in computer engineering.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That sounds awesome. My son's currently in college as well, so it's it's a lot to that because it can get expensive for sure.
Yes, sir. Very.
Yep, I know all about it. Well, so right now you are currently on the transplant list. You're listed at Emory in Atlanta, Georgia, and also at Mayo in Jacksonville, Florida. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And his blood type is B positive, and of course B can accept an O kidney as well. And we've already discussed, about the paired exchange program, where if someone came forth and they wasn't a blood type match, both of those hospitals will utilize the paired exchange program. So if you're interested in being Kurt's donor, you don't have to be too much concerned about the blood type, because they have the paired exchange program.
Yes.
Yes, it's an amazing program. It really helps a lot of people with the incompatible blood types. Why don't you tell everybody what you did, for a living prior to, battling kidney disease?
Okay, well, in 2009, I became disabled, but before that, I worked 16 years at Cooper Tire and Rubber Company. And before that, I worked 11 years at Flint River Textiles.
Okay, what'd you do there?
I was a tire inspector, and also
Uh
I
huh.
built.
Uh huh.
And at
Okay.
Flint,
Okay.
Textiles, I was a cloth inspector.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds like you kept busy. Sounds like a busy job, especially being a tire inspector.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. You got to have some good sets of tires on your car. If not, you'll be in trouble.
Yes.
So, all right then. Well, why don't you tell everybody about your experience with how you found out you had kidney disease?
Um. Well, I was diagnosed in 2016 um, with the early stage of kidney failure, and it progressed until like stage 4, which in 2019 I had the peritoneal catheter placed in March,
Mm-hmm.
but at that time, excuse me, it was 20 March of
Mm-hmm.
2020. I'm sorry. And
Uh-huh.
at that time, I had just started my training, but COVID hit and they discontinued the training. So, which means I wasn't able to flush out, my catheter on a regular basis, which caused it to
Yeah.
get clogged. So I ended up having to have a second catheter placed in and the first one taken out. So that was a
Mm,
very traumatic experience for me,
I'm
dealing with
sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I bet that was a very traumatic experience. Definitely a scary one to have to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever want to try to do hemodialysis, or did peritoneal seem like it was a better fit for you?
Well, I thought about doing hemo, but um, I have like I had a cousin who's doing hemo, and he was telling me about how it's draining, and after he had the hemo dialysis
Hmm.
done, he was basically done for the day. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had been hearing that kind of talk about it, but I didn't hear anything bad about peritoneal, so
Yeah.
that's why I went that way.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I went on home hemo for a little while before I got transplanted, and I remember getting a lot of supplies. I mean, I live in a three-bedroom house. Well, it's an apartment, but it's about 1,100 square foot, and man, we had boxes everywhere. I mean, just I had them in the hallway. I had them in a corner stacked up. I had dialysate stacked everywhere, and just because they dropped off like 70 some odd boxes my first delivery.
Yeah.
And I remember when they brought them in the living room, they were like, well, we're going to put them here and then I had to go through them and organize them myself. And they were pretty heavy. After you
Yeah.
lift about 30 of those, you've had a little bit of a workout. Yeah. So I remember having to actually drink a little extra fluid when I was doing that because I was sweating from lifting all the boxes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Are you on any fluid restrictions?
Well, I'm limited on the on my water intake, and that's about the only restriction that I have like for is fluids.
Yeah. I mean, is there an amount though that you have to stay within as far as like daily?
Well, it no more than 32 ounces in
Yeah.
between 16 and 32 ounces a day.
Yeah. So 32 was my limit too, and I had a certain way that I tried to do it. I had these little 8 ounce little bottles of water that I could buy at my local grocery store, and I'd actually pull out 4 of those and drink those all day long.
Okay.
But I mean, did I ever go over my fluid? Yeah, I did, for sure. Especially over the weekend. When I was in center over the weekend, I would bring in a little extra fluid just because you had that extra day. So the good thing about doing home dialysis is you could pretty much do it on your schedule and your time. And if you feel like you need a treatment, you can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. You can. So like, do you have to do any kind of manual exchanges, or are you just doing the cycler at night?
The cycler at night.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know a lot of people that are on PD, they do the manual exchanges during the day, and then at nighttime they get back on the cycler. So it can be definitely a long process with the PD. It seems like,
Yes.
yeah. So why don't you tell everybody out there what a kidney transplant would do for you and how it would benefit you and your family?
Um. Well, if someone being gifted a kidney, it would be a life-changing experience for me and my family also. I'm somewhat of a very independent person, and I've had to learn how to depend on someone, and it would give me an opportunity to, for my wife, to go on, and do her daily chores, and it would free her up a whole lot, and also it would free. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. I would totally agree with you. It definitely is liberating, especially with being on dialysis. It stops that whole process of dialysis, so you don't have to do dialysis anymore, and you don't have to worry about all that and all the side effects with dialysis, and it's definitely been liberating for me. I no longer am doing the home hemo, and I don't have to deal with all that anymore, and so it's definitely a liberating experience, and soon enough I'll be going back to work too. So I'm
No.
looking forward to that. So, um, so what you definitely would you think about? Would you return to a career, or are you considering just saying you have another disability that goes along with kidney disease?
Yes, sir, I do. I have a degenerative back disease, and I have degenerative neck bone spurs in my neck, and
Oh, wow.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that limits you definitely with having to, pick up things and move around and your range of motion and I can definitely sympathize with that. My father had issues with that, and he ended up being disabled. But he worked a job where he had to do a lot of lifting and things like that, so it kind of stopped him from being able to work as well. So I definitely can understand. So so you have a lot of different things going on, not just kidney disease. You have some other things going on, and
Yes, I have.
that definitely, yeah, and that definitely makes fighting kidney disease even tougher because when your back starts bothering you, or bone spurs or whatever starts affecting you, then if you have a bad day on kidney disease, that can kind of affect your mood, or the way you feel. As How has kidney disease affected you?
Well, it's basically the things that I used to do, like I used to, go fishing and travel a lot. Now I have to take in consideration I need to take my equipment with me if I'm going out of town, or if
Yeah,
I'm going fishing. I got to be careful, like by the type of area I'm in, because I don't want to get an infection. And so
yeah,
that it plays a big part in that.
yeah. And how about your support? So, it sounds like you got a great family, you got a supporting wife, and how's it? Do you have other people that talk with you about your situation that you can talk with, like a support group? Or are you a part of a church or anything like that?
Yes, I'm part of a church, also Shiloh Baptist Church in Albany, Georgia. And I got to say, not only my wife is a great support, but my daughter is
Yeah,
also support. You know,
yeah,
and I can. Well, I just want to tell this little story about my daughter. When me and my
sure.
wife COVID, um, we were sick, and my daughter took care of both of us. While we
Oh,
were sick, and you
wow.
know, I can't thank her enough for what she's done for me, and she's there for me, and it just it touches my heart to think that what all she's done for me and my wife at that time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. God's blessing is our children, and they're definitely a blessing on our life. Not saying sometimes that you don't want to pull your hair out. Mine are still young teenagers, so there's been times that I've been kind of like pulling my hair out sometimes, but they can be a really strong blessing to us, and especially in a time of trouble. And so that sounds amazing. Sounds like you got a really nice daughter, a great supporting wife, a great supporting daughter. I think support goes a long way with fighting kidney disease, and waiting on a transplant list. Because you're going to have some tough days emotionally, and you need that support to be able to lean upon them.
Yes,
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. And you mentioned you had COVID.
yes, sir. Me and my wife.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm so thankful that you guys were able to get through that, because you see all these stories on the news, and with your immune system being compromised, that's definitely a scary situation to go through.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, I can only imagine. The good Lord was on your side for sure. And so I guess you've seen in the news that they're coming out with the vaccine, and I don't know if you've talked with your team about it, but have you considered if whether or not, if you get the word from your team that they want to try to give you the COVID vaccine, whether or not you would partake with that?
Well, I received a text about uh 2 days ago, and they were asking me if I was interested in receiving the vaccine, and it won't be a second guess. Yes, I'll be willing to take that.
Yeah, me too. At first, I was a little skeptical, And I was even skeptical about taking the flu shot until I went into renal failure, and they were like, "You have to get this flu shot," and I'm like, "Okay." I finally gave in, but that was after like 41 years of saying no. But I'm like, yeah, if it's going to help me keep me alive, I'm going to do it. And but if my transplant team tells me, hey, we're going to give you the COVID vaccine, we want to offer it to you, I'm definitely going to take it. I'm not going to hesitate about it because I think it'll help save my life.
Yes.
So, you know, I think I think you're doing the right thing, Kurt. Well, guys, if you're listening in and you're watching this video and you come across this interview, Kurt has a Facebook page. Find Kurt a living donor kidney. Okay, he's got a Facebook page. He's got lots of information on that page, and you can find out different things about him, where his transplant hospital is, the phone number, and all that, blood type. And if you do call, definitely mention Kurt Hooks. Okay, he's from Albany, Georgia. He's currently listed at Emory, at Atlanta, Georgia, and Jacksonville, and that's the Mayo Hospital there in Jacksonville, Florida. Man, Kurt, I really appreciate you doing a second interview with me, even though we had some issues last night. But that's okay. We're getting through this tonight, and I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. Was there anything else that you'd like to add into the interview, or say hello or goodbye to?
Well, the only thing that I would like to add would be, for it's like if someone is interested in gifting you a kidney and they're hesitant about doing it, don't
Mm-hmm.
get discouraged, because that happened to me. I got discouraged,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like the life was sucked out of my body. But the thing about it, you just gotta keep on keeping on, and just pray and ask God, to have someone to gift you that kidney, and just keep on,
Mm-hmm.
have the faith and keep on moving on.
Well, that's a great word right there. That's a great word. Stay positive. If you're thinking about becoming a donor, do the research and find out. There's a lot of miseducation out there about organ donation. A lot of people think, I'm going to get sick. I'm going to end up dying if I give you my kidney. All these types of factors. And I found out when I was in my search, there was a lot of people out there that had no idea about the truth about organ donation as far as kidney was concerned. You can live a normal life with one kidney, and you can live a healthy life with just one kidney. And God gave us two, but you can actually donate the other kidney to someone, and it will definitely help them. And Kurt Hooks definitely is in desperate need, guys, of a living kidney donor. If you're interested, the information is scrolling below on the ticker. Um, well, Kurt, I really appreciate you and your wife. You guys doing the interview with me. Hope with Jonathan, and I hope this story gets out to a lot of people. I'm going to share this for you, brother. I'm going to continue to be praying for you, push it, and I will stay positive. I'll check back in with you and see if later on, if maybe you want to come on and do this again sometime.
Okay, I'll be very much interested in doing it.
I would hope maybe we could do one after post transplant when you finally get that miracle gift of life.
Yes, sir, that'll be fine.
Well,
I look
I'm
forward.
looking for, yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it too. And hey, guys, I appreciate you tuning in tonight. This has been a great interview. Hope with Jonathan and Mr. Kurt Hooks again. You can find out all of his information on his Facebook page. Find Kurt a living kidney donor, or it's actually Find Kurt a living donor kidney, and it's on Facebook. Okay, go there. You can get information there. Again, Kurt, man, I really appreciate it. We're going to sign off here. You guys take care. God bless, and definitely get your kidneys checked out.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so very much for having me.
All right, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.